Wolfgang Van Halen grew up beneath shadows in rock history. As the son of Eddie Van Halen, he was labeled a nepo, missed him, and some even threw bottles on stage. To many, he wasn't Wolfgang. He was just Eddie's kid. Everything changed after Eddie's death in October 2020. Grief hit hard, but it also transformed him. By 2025, fans at his Las Vegas shows noticed a striking difference. Nearly 50 pounds lost, sharper focus, renewed energy. The change wasn't just physical, it was personal. Born on March 16, 1991, in Santa Monica to guitar legend Eddie Van Halen and actress Valerie Bertinelli, Wolfgang was surrounded by music and fame from day one. Named after Mozart, he grew up in a house filled with rehearsals, instruments, and tension as his parents' marriage ended in 2001. Music became his refuge. Self-taught by ear, he mastered drums, guitar, bass, and keyboards as a teenager. Instead of copying his father, he studied bands like System of a Down and developed his own style. By 15, he officially became Van Halen's bassist, replacing Michael Anthony, a move that sparked backlash across the rock world. At just 16, he debuted on a reunion tour that grossed $93 million. Despite relentless criticism, even public mockery from David Lee Roth, Wolfgang kept delivering tight, disciplined performances. Backstage, musicians respected him. Slowly, talent began speaking louder than rumors. Through grief, public scrutiny, and pressure few teenagers could handle, Wolfgang didn't just inherit a legacy, he fought to earn his place in it. And in rebuilding himself after loss, he proved he was never just living in his fire. He missed all of 11th grade because rehearsals and touring took over his life. Teachers warned Eddie Van Halen it was the most important year for college preparation, but the decision stood. Media outlets seized on the story, especially when reports revealed Wolfgang was rehearsing up to 18 hours some days. Tutoring on the road became his classroom. The criticism grew louder, yet he quietly stayed on track and eventually graduated, carrying the weight of a teenage life few could understand. In 2008, Guitar World highlighted the pressure Wolfgang faced as fans initially chanted for Michael Anthony. Despite the criticism, he practiced harder and proved he belonged in Van Halen. From 2007-2009, he performed over 100 shows. In 2012, at 21, he stepped in for Mark Tremonti's band, learning the set overnight, and by 2013 became their official bassist, recording Cauterize, 2015, and Dust, 2016, with hits like Wish You Well topping charts. He also gained session credits, including Hailstorm's The Strange Case of, in 2012, proving his talent beyond his family name. By 2016, after hundreds of shows and 2 albums, he left Tremonti to focus on his own project, Mammoth WVH, carrying forward Van Halen's legacy of over 80 million records and rock classics like Jump and Panama. Their 2012 comeback album, A Different Kind of Truth, reunited the band with Roth after 28 years. It debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, selling 188,000 copies in its first week. Wolfgang co-wrote 3 tracks, including Blood and Fire, proving he wasn't just holding down bass, he was shaping the sound. In 2013, at Tokyo Dome, 22-year-old Wolfgang stunned audiences with a bass solo on Hot for Teacher, going viral when released on a live album. Even die-hard Michael Anthony fans admitted his onstage presence was electric. He wasn't just filling a spot, he was stepping into his own era. Behind the music, life was intense. Between 2010 and 2012, he confronted Eddie Van Halen about his addiction, forcing a choice that pushed Eddie toward partial sobriety. Earlier in 2009, Wolfgang had been featured as the bassist in Guitar Hero. Van Halen, introducing him to a younger audience despite nepotism complaints. The 2012 Van Halen tour grossed over $70 million, and Wolfgang anchored the chaos across 70-plus shows, even amid clashes with David Lee Roth. In 2015, he began a solo project at 5150 Studios, inspired by Dave Grohl, playing every instrument himself. Sessions paused as Eddie's health declined. By 2018, he named the project Mammoth WVH, honoring Eddie's early band while stepping into his own identity. the album released in 2021, marking his shift from bassist to frontman. Distance, written in 2018 during hospital visits, was released shortly after Eddie's passing in October 2020. It hit #1 on Billboard's mainstream rock chart, with proceeds going to the Mr. Holland's Opus Foundation. Wolfgang declined lucrative tribute tours, stating clearly, "No Eddie, no Van Halen." Fans understood this was the beginning of his own journey with Mammoth W. His debut album dropped on June 11, 2021. Wolfgang wrote, sang, and played every instrument, proving his talent stood on its own. Distance hit #1 again, and critics praised his distinct voice. The project had begun in 2013, but he waited until it felt authentically his. By 2022, Mammoth WVH earned a Grammy nomination for Best Rock Song with Distance, tying a record for most consecutive #1s from a debut album. He toured the US and Canada with Dirty Honey, eventually expanding to a full band: Frank Sidoris, John Jordan, Ronnie Ficarro, and Garrett Whitlock. The energy of live performances transformed his studio songs into stadium-ready rock. In 2023, his second album, Mammoth the Non-Tankund, hit #1 on the UK Rock Albums chart and spawned hits like Another Celebration at the End of the World. That same year, he played guitar on I'm Just Ken for the Barbie soundtrack alongside Slash. The track crossed 500 million streams and even reached the Billboard Hot 100. Tours with Myles Kennedy and co-headlining shows with Metallica, Motley Crue, and Def Leppard followed, with singles like I'm All Right climbing the charts. By 2025, Wolfgang shortened the band name to Mammoth and leaned into a heavier sound with producer Michael Basquet. Critics noticed a sharper identity emerging: bold, personal, and unafraid. He released The End on October 24, 2025, writing and playing all 10 tracks. Singles, The End and The Spell, earned millions of views, topping charts worldwide, while his end-of-year tour spanned 19 North American dates and led into a European leg. Amid the success, Wolfgang transformed personally. Between 2024 and 2025, he lost 40-50 pounds, adopted a clean diet, consistent workouts, meditation, and therapy. Fans noticed the change during the Las Vegas shows, where he appeared almost unrecognizable. Sharper face, stronger stage presence, and renewed confidence. He credited the transformation to grief, exhaustion, and the desire for longevity. The journey mirrored his music: steady, deliberate, and deeply human. By late 2025, Wolfgang's story wasn't just about carrying a legacy. It was about forging a new one, physically, emotionally, and musically. If you loved learning about the iconic stars of old Hollywood, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more behind-the-scenes stories, trivia, and all things vintage glam. Join the conversation in the comments below. Who's your favorite old Hollywood celebrity and why? Make sure to ring the bell so you never miss a new video on the golden era of cinema.